Hi friends, Renee Keese here with Carolina Creative, and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here with some card making ideas for you. If you're like me, it's December and I'm now getting tired of Christmas cards. So I wanted to do a winter scene today, just something completely different, but not Christmas related. So I'm back to working with the Nests of Winter and the Winterly Treetops stamp set, and I'm going to use up some of the random pieces that I have left over. There's some really cute smaller birds on this paper. It's got the green stripe on the back that you can cut out, or cut a circle and make it a focal point. So I'm going to use some of that. I had another piece. Again, there's some interest here, but it's not a real stunning piece of paper that's just left over, and it's not very big. So what I'm going to do is put a mat over it and cut out an oval so I'll have a peekaboo. So what I decided for making a wintry scene is I pulled out, this is retired from a few years ago, but I've loved it so much I've held on to it. This woodland textured gives you these tree trunks, and I love it. And so I do like to still use it. So what I've done is I've already die cut this. So I've got the texture here from those tree trunks, and then this is my peekaboo window. I'm going to put the paper behind it, like this, so that the birds show through. And then I've cut out my little guy here, and so I'm going to add him as if he's, sitting on a branch here. You'll see how this all comes together. So you can tell I've done just a little bit of embossing, and I did a die cut here, but mostly I'm using up some scraps. It's that time of year where I've got lots of parts and pieces left over. So let me flip the camera down to my work area here, and let's get some stamping done. So inside the card, what I wanted to do, I'm going to make this a birthday card. And so what I want to do on my white insert is just I'm stamping. I'm using Charming Sentiments for this. So I'm using Wishing You the Happiest of Birthdays. So let's go ahead. I'm inking this up in blue so that it's going to coordinate with my card base. To me, the blue and the white, it just makes it look a little bit wintry. It's not over the top, but it has a slightly wintry feel to it. I just wanted to do something different today. Okay, so I've got that. I now think I want to take the bird. This was the single bird from the Winterly Treetops. And I'm going to stamp him in gray because I think that'll give him a little bit of color. And I don't want the whole bird. I just kind of want his head and maybe the berries. So I didn't put this on a big block because I just want a portion of him. Yeah, he's just kind of peeking on the card. Perfect. That is what I kind of had in the back of my mind when I first looked at this. I thought, oh yeah, let's put a little bird in there. So to kind of make him coordinate with these other birds, I'm wondering if I can color this in just a little bit, give him just a hint of color. So I'm going to, I think I'm going to go with the smaller end here. Put some color on his wing and just kind of feather this out. And then I'll lighten this, put a little bit on his head. Here's hers. I don't know what the difference is here. And then where this highlighting is here, I'm just going to follow that. And then I think, again, to give it some interest, I will give it red berries. So I'm reaching for another Stampin' Blend here so that I can color in those berries right off the page. And that's okay. That was kind of the idea. Now, I could go ahead and give him his beak. I do think, I don't want to go too bright. I was looking at oranges and some brighter colors. This is dark Calypso Coral, and that may be just enough to give him a little definition. Okay. And like I said, I wanted to lighten. There's my white. I knew I brought the color lifter. I think I want to lighten his head just a little bit so it fades. Yep, just like that. I don't want to do a whole lot. That's it. So that will be the inside of the card. Gives it a little bit of interest. I will start assembling in just a minute. Now my sentiment is going to say just for you. And I was trying to decide, I've got blue and gray because it kind of goes with my color theme here. And I think maybe the blue was going to be too bold, so I'm going to use my gray granite and just stamp right here just for you. And I think I'm going to put a little color on the edge. I really like to do this and have a finished edge. So a little bit of that gray color there. And so now I think I'm done. Okay, so let's start assembling. I'm going to slide all those blends out of my way so I can work right here. Let's start from the inside and dot on some of my liquid glue here so it'll hold it on. Okay, flip that over and put the insert in there. Okay, so that's my inside panel. Now, what I'm going to do is line all this up first, and then I'll attach it to the card front. So I know I'm kind of, you know, this piece is going to fit on there kind of crooked and willy-nilly, but that's oh, look at what I just did. Okay, as soon as I glue it, I'll show you. If I had tried to do this, it never would have worked, but purely by accident, completely serendipitous, this worked. So I'm going to put glue on the back side of my frame here. And this is what will adhere to my panel. So this is going to allow me to center it up and line it up, and I can kind of play with this and get it the way I want it before I stick it down. But what I completely did by accident was the tree trunks actually line up. This is just crazy. I'll have to hold this up now. So if you look, let me make sure I've got this adhered. Yep. I'm going to hold this up to the camera. If you look, I've got a tree trunk running from top to bottom in the embossing, and it actually lines up with the tree trunk in the paper. Like I said, if I had tried to do that, it never would have worked. So that was just we'll call it a Christmas miracle for lack of a better term. I've got glue right there, so now I need to be careful. Let me grab a baby wipe. Nothing better for crafting than having baby wipes handy. If you ever get, you know, ink on your hands, and you just, of course, it goes everywhere once you get it on your hands. So you really got to be careful. And now I've got to let this dry for just a minute. And I did have some dry wipes, I sure do, from yesterday. So I'm going to go over this and dry. And it's also cleaning my work surface. So this is a good thing to do periodically. Okay, dry enough, clean enough. Now, back to my blue card base, and I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal. I have a whole new refill in here, so this is going to last me for quite a while. If you've ever noticed, our Stampin' Up! Products really do last a long time. I find this to be much better than what you can buy at some of the craft stores. And there's actually more yards on our rolls than on other rolls. I didn't quite get that centered up the way I'd like. It's a little shifted left. So before it's on for too long, I can gently pry this up. I know we've all done that before. Stick it down because you think it looks like it's where you want it, and then find out it's not. And so it does peel up, but I think the longer you leave it after you've stuck it, the harder it is to take off. So I've got that. Now, my cute little bird, I wanted him, her, down here somewhere. And again, I've got some little leftover sprigs that I'm just going to tuck in and around, something like this, I think. Just to give a little, oh, maybe put this on top. Just to give a little more interest right here. Okay, so that's what I'm going for. So I'm first going to glue down the bird. And, you know, you could put dimensionals behind this. It's not cardstock, it's just paper, so it's not real sturdy. Put him up there. And now I'm going to put some glue on this little pine bough. I do think I want that on top, but I want the berries to show through too. So well, I can't get everything. Okay, like that. And I've got two different shades of green because there's different greens in this paper. So I'm just mixing it up here. And again, I don't want the berries to be totally hidden. Now, I will, under the cardstock for my sentiment, go ahead and put a couple of dimensionals, three dimensionals on there, just to give that some interest. And so with the texture for the tree trunks, and then a little bit of interest, well, I could put it up there, couldn't I? I think I like that. They're on opposite ends here. And now the final touch, of course, little Wink of Stella. I'm going to give the greenery some shimmer. Of course, I'm going to give the bird friends here. So we've got one kind of off in the distance and then one here. Now, what I didn't think about was, do I want some more? I think this needs a bow. This does need something. I didn't prepare for that, so I don't have a bow handy. But I may tie in the blue. I may put in a light blue bow right down on the bottom here. So let me hold this up. This is what I did. Little wintry scene, using up some of the parts and pieces that I had. So I had the little pretty piece of paper. I had some of these birds. I could cut that out. Using the embossing folder to provide interest, and then cut that oval to just give it a peekaboo window, and then made it into a birthday card. So pretty simple, but it's just something a little bit different. I do like the winter feel, so for birthdays in January and February, we happen to have a lot in my family, so I know family members probably going to get this next month. So thanks for joining me today. If you like the products and the projects that you've seen here, you can find me at Carolina Creative or hashtag Carolina Creative. And I am on the Stampin' Up! Network. Renee Keese at StampinUp.net. Thanks for joining me. Stay tuned for the next video.